The October 30th Raw, Edge and Christian are doing their ring entrance, and they even do Triple H's entrance on the kazoo. And Christian is playing the kazoo badly, and Edge is going, "You think you know me? You think you know me?"
I think that's how you play the kazoo.
You're really not good at that at all.
No, it was like time to play the game.
That was better that time. The first time was really bad. No,
yeah, it sucks.
You should.
That's a faulty kazoo.
I think it's a faulty mouth.
That hurts inside.
The November 6th Raw, we get another tables match, this time with Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys. The Hardy Boys are going to come out though, and Lita gives Christian a flying Hurricane Rana that dazes him and sets up the 3D for the pin. And that sets up a match at Survivor Series in November. There's a fun section on the show here where it looks like Edge and Christian believe that Kurt Angle is about to ask for their help against The Undertaker. So they're doing everything they can, including Christian claiming mono. And Angle invites them to a non-alcoholic post-match celebration. And then they do a skit where D'Lo Brown and Tiger Ali Singh didn't get any respect when they weren't even allowed backstage.
Well, some people aren't. And by God, they shouldn't be backstage anyway.
The Hardys and the Dudleys would win a traditional Survivor Series match over Bull Buchanan, the Godfather, and Edge and Christian, 10 minutes and 5 seconds. It sort of was what it was, 2 3/4 stars. The next night on Raw, Undertaker beats Edge and Christian at the same damn time with a last ride on Christian and a chokeslam on Edge. It is sort of interesting that, you know, you can be the top tag team, but as soon as you're in there with The Rock or the Undertaker, all bets are off. Speaking of that, on December 18th, Rock and Undertaker actually win the tag titles for a night over Edge and Christian in 8 minutes and 40 seconds. A couple of days later though, Edge and Christian are going to regain the belts when Kurt Angle gives Rock the Olympic Slam. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the Royal Rumble. The Dudleys win the tag titles from Edge and Christian here. And they've changed the name here. It's no longer the Kamikaze for Christian's finishing maneuver. And it's no longer the Impaler. It's now the Unprettier. Why not the Impaler? That was a good name.
Well, the Impaler was something that they used when they were brood and when they were vampires so that you would impale somebody. So now it's the Unprettier because it makes your face unpretty. Just kind of one of those fantastical Edge and Christian words that they came up with.
I'm sure you're really curious about this, but the February 8th issue of the Japanese publication, The Weekly Gong, has a 2-page spread that focused on the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, which really focused on Edge and Christian winning Tag Team of the Year. I know you don't like those awards because you just have an irrational hate for Dave Meltzer, but they had to be the Tag Team of the Year. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. They were Tag Team of the Year. I don't think that anybody else really could have competed with. Well, I take that back. You could probably do a 3-way tie with them, the Hardys and the Dudleys.
Okay. So no one could compete, but actually everyone could compete.
Yeah. Those three could. Those three could be tied.
No Way Out. You know, they have a series of tag matches on TV, but really nothing all that interesting. I do want to fast forward to the Fully Loaded pay-per-view. Here they're taking on the Acolytes again, and the Acolytes get the win, but by DQ. So they keep the belts, and the commissioner at this point is Mick Foley. Talk to me a little bit about why this made sense to invoke the JFK assassination, which I can't believe is a thing they're talking about here on pay-per-view, especially in Dallas. I understand Bill Buckner, but assassinating a president, I don't know about that.
You know, sometimes your judgment is not all that good. And what is a good idea at the time and in the moment, when you hear the words and you hear everything actually coming out live, it's a little different. And I think that somebody just thought, hey, this will be a cool idea because it's history. Everybody knows about this. it sucked a big root, because how in the fuck do you talk about the assassination of the president in a joking way? Like him, don't like it. Just, it fell flat. And I think it was a way to kind of get the acolytes to come out and be the big baby faces at that point. And by God, defend the good honor of the state of Texas and Dallas.
Let's get to SummerSlam. We've got Gangrel coming out with the Hardy Boys, which is kind of fun. It's Edge and Christian getting a win over the Hardy Boys here. It goes 3 1/4 stars. Later we would see Edge and Christian beat Midian and Viscera, and then they would beat Draws and Prince Albert. And then ultimately Farouk and Bradshaw would beat Edge and Christian. This was a packed show here, and you get almost all the way to the end. It feels like it's going to be a big crowning moment for Edge and Christian, and it doesn't happen yet. Why were you guys slow to pull the trigger on them?
I don't think that Vince really, I don't know, to be honest with you. I really and truly don't know. It just was, it's a feel sometimes, and didn't feel that they were ready for it just yet. Let the audience really bring them to it. If that makes any sense. So that the audience feels that they're the ones that win the title for them and get them to that point.
The next night on Raw, the Hardy Boys are calling themselves the New Brood, and they come out with Gangrel, and Edge and Christian run them off. The Unforgiven pay-per-view would see Edge and Christian get to challenge the New Age Outlaws, but they are unsuccessful in their quest to become tag team champions. The match only gets 2 1/4 stars. I guess in hindsight, this is probably a pay-per-view with 2 of the very biggest tag teams of the time, but for whatever reason, the fans don't really see them on, the New Age Outlaws level just yet. Let's get to the No Mercy pay-per-view.
Well, I don't think they had good chemistry together either. I just think that they were off a little bit.
Edge and Christian get a win over Farouk and Bradshaw, Bob and Crash Holly, all in a 3-way over at the No Mercy pay-per-view. So this is their first big win on pay-per-view like this, 2 stars.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.